These last 2 weeks have been nothing but crazy, and the Bronco is literally sitting here. This is the first time that we see this car is in its entirety. Last week, you know, it didn't look anything like this, and it looks amazing right now. This would be possible without Sandra, my mom. I wanted to surprise her, and I wanted to get her her first ever brand new car. And
So for us, like me and Oscar had talked about, always getting to that, that step where we're gonna buy something for our mom. We've been working so hard every year, and we're like, you know what? She's not really that rugged old school. Get in there and get her something nice. And the new Broncos came out, and then me and Oscar were kind of pushing the topic as she came to the shop and saw the new car. It's like, oh, how do you like this? How do you like this? And me and Oscar were like, you know what? It'd be really cool to get something like the new Bronco, and I feel like that's gonna be the new car that's gonna be evolving, suspension, body parts, all this. And it was like it could be a platform where get her something brand new. We never bought nothing brand new for her, and we were just like, hey, this would be perfect for her to give her a gift, and kind of to show our love to her and appreciation for everything, and then that was the main reason we wanted to get it for her. Guys, so I pulled up to the dealership. I'm really excited, very emotional, because this is gonna be a car that we're buying for my mom. We love her so much. She has done so much for us, and this is just one thing that we can do that can make her feel appreciated. I mean, we tell her all the time, but it's we've never coming up from poor and stuff like that, and kind of growing our business and being at the level that we are now, that we can do this is a blessing. And so for me to come up here and be signing documents for a brand new car, I've never had a brand new car or anything like that, and us doing this.
I don't think it's so much the car. I think it was more of me and Saul kind of getting to that point that my mom help us start this business. It was kind of always our dream to when you're a kid, you're one day we're going to buy our mom a new car. And so that's kind of, I think, the whole premise of this. The Bronco is just something that we had worked on a lot of Broncos, and Saul knows it was just something that felt right, and the new Broncos had just come out, and I think me and Saul kind of talked about it, and we're like, I think this is something that we could do for our mom. And that's what really made it special, that on Christmas me and Saul were able to kind of like a childhood dream to buy your parent a new car. And it kind of just feels regardless of whatever we do from there forward, it's hey, we did it. I was as a kid, you always want to say, hey, I want to be able to do that for her.
Oh my God, ¿ahora qué?
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas! She's into everything. She knows everything, so we had to be sneaky to the T. Me and Oscar was okay, she's coming, let's keep her in the room, and all that. And so it was an emotional roller coaster, getting to the top of that. And we're everybody was there, family was there, they came out to visit, so that even brought another level of surprise too, because they didn't know quite what we were gonna do. And so just leading up to that point, it was just all right, and she didn't know, and we're keep her over here, put her in the room. And as we got the car out there, and we just walked out there, she didn't quite understand. She was is this for real? And then it just, I think when she sat in the car, it just kind of hit her that wow, just probably a lot of emotion going through us, and for us to just see her get in the car, and then her breakdown just broke us down. It was dude, we did it.
Wow.
It
that
was
was
a good moment.
That was definitely one of more than any other car or anything, it was just kind of that was a real accomplishment at that point. What do you think?
Oh my God, I love it. Thank you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you, Oscar and Saul. Eso es customs. Thank you.
I love you, Mama. Merry Christmas.
Oh my
Tell
God.
everyone Merry Christmas out
Merry
there.
Christmas, everybody out there. I'm so lucky to have my family like this, and then my sons just give me my dream present. I can't believe it.
Now what we're doing, right? Now we're, obviously the whole premise of this video is building it for her.
Today we have a special one. We have our 2021 Ford Bronco that we gave to our mom, and we're on the road to SEMA.
Part of it is like, we always push the envelope and we make wide body cars, all different types of cars. But we felt like, we always build these cars for the companies. I was like, it's time for us to actually build something for us. Like this is our first wide body program that we have put together. When you're doing this type of development and phasing and body work, it can be very expensive. So we ended up working out a trade. We helped develop a program for him for some vehicles, and so at that point he helped us design it, and then which came the the renderings and the 3D printing. We finally got the parts, and but they sat for like what? Like a year.
A year, because he gave it almost
like around last SEMA.
Yeah. I think with this one is kind of getting out of our comfort zone, because like you said, we're used to like wide body cars, doing this, doing that, but really like lifting cars and doing this off-road stuff. That's kind of our next avenue that we want to get into.
Even though we're into that, like I have a lifted truck, so I has a
Yeah.
lifted Lexus SUV, so we're into the off-road or overland type of lifestyle and stuff like that. But it's just not usually our forte.
And that's why we're like, I feel like just diving into it, that gives us a challenge, because we're always getting challenged with everything else and everything we do. And I feel like with this one, it makes it even special because we're building it for our mom, and it's just something like really cool to kind of challenge ourselves in different aspects, and even to showcase to the world and to our subscribers and people that follow us that, hey, we're just not this style. We do it all. We do from off-road to lowered cars to race cars to whatever, exotics, everything. We diversify in all different type of aspects, and we're able to bring in that idea and into the design and the build aspect of the car.
So this is really our first crack at it as far as designing a kit and stuff like that. So I kind of wanted to embody some of that, Japanese kind of feel on it, with the way that the flares poke out, show a little bit of tire. And I wanted the flares to be a little bit different than what was already on the market. And being since we got this car almost 2 years ago, right? Our plan was to like do something a lot sooner, but again, doing everybody else's car, stuff like that, it just really wasn't in the wheelhouse at the time. But after we got with one of our clients, we made a design, and we got into 3D print. We're like, okay, now this is happening. Earlier this year, we had a project where me and Sal were pretty much out of the shop. So now we're like, okay, we need to start on the SEMA projects. And one of the projects was my mom's. And after the development of the parts, we already had them. And so I was like, what better place to show them off than SEMA? One of the major players in helping us get the car to SEMA was one of our really good friends, Lacey Blair. Shout out Lacey. We had mentioned to her, I think our mom came to visit us on set, and we talked about like, want to build her Bronco, and then Lacey was like straight up like, oh, let's do it, you know. And that's kind of more her forte. She's like into the big lifted trucks and stuff like that. She already reached out to Fusion Bumpers, and those are one of the key players on the team for the SEMA build.
We'll be featured there at their booth.
From now, we already had our first sponsor, Bumpers, right? And you know, we got these really nice Fusion bumpers. You got to do all this. Gotta do all this stuff with it. So with this front bumper, you don't have to buy this bumper. You have to also get a winch, right, for the big hole in the middle. So shout out to Warren Winches. They hooked us up with something real nice. That if this thing ever gets stuck,
it'll pull us out of anywhere.
Yeah, this thing's it's heavy duty, right? So shout out Warren Winches. But also we had to get some nice lighting for the fogs in there, and you know you can't really be off. You know, really have an off-road build, I think nowadays at least, without some, you know, light bars and some lighting. So Rigid Industries came into play, and they hooked us up with LED light bar for the roof, and also the
bumpers, the backup lights, you know,
everything. They
mirror
hooked us
lights,
up.
everything, and so big shout out to them.
So obviously, you know, after getting like the first part, we got the bumpers, right? We can't really just bring a stock ride height Bronco, right? We gotta lift it. So we ended up hooking up with Beltec suspension, and they hooked us up with their full suspension kit.
Big shout out to Beltec suspension, got us all hooked up. Lacey for doing this wonderful powder cone on this thing. You can see it on camera, but it has like a pearlescent powder coat in this thing.
Beltec hooked it up, and then again, Lacey coming into play again. She powder coated all the suspension for us. Gonna go with the theme that we're going with, and Saul and Sam over there threw that thing in, and I'm sure that was a little bit of a pain because he's technically still, you know, show off your hands right now. They're still kind of throwing it in right now
as we
speak.
speak.
So this interview might be a little bit short.
But yeah, definitely a big shout out to Lace. Like, she was really thorough with the process, helped us out with Beltec, and you know, both of us reached out. She sent us powder coating samples, got the right color, and I mean, she killed it. Yeah. She killed it with that.
And like, to get it done, ship it, and like, you know, she's in Texas and we're in California, so
the logistics were
a little funny, but
we got it done.
It was truly good working with her. I mean, she's really good at what she does, and so you know, we lifted it up, you know, and even though that the car came lifted, you know, we had to get some new wheels and tires.
So you know, now that we have this big suspension on there, and you know, have everything lifted 4 to 5 inches, I think we went with 4 inches. We needed something to be able to accommodate that lift. We were introduced to this company called Dirty Life Wheels. We saw one of their cars they sponsored, and we really liked the wheels. They were full bead locks. They look really cool, and we're like, you know what, like, you know, we work with them. I think this would be a great collaboration with this build with them. Talked to them. They were there for us. They supported the build, and I think it's gonna look really good. All right, guys, I'm here at my buddy's shop, Chris. We're gonna get these wheels and tires unloaded, get these things mounted. And with those wheels, now that they're full bead locks, you know, we need to put some tires on there. And this big boy tires, and you know, and for us, me and Oscar, you know, the company that came to mind is we rock it on our cars all the time. Was
Falcon. Yeah, Falcon, the Falcon Wild Peak. We ended up going with 37s. So
big boys.
Kind of like Sal said, like literally all our cars are rocking Falcon. So it was kind of no question. And you know, once we talked to Nick over there, he said no problem, sent us a set over, and so that's really cool because we, you know, it's cool that when the brands that you work with support your build, it was really nice. So I mean, so we, you know, we got, you know, our prototype fenders on this thing. We lifted this thing. Hopefully she's gonna be able to still fit in there. I think it looks great. I think the fitment's good. The Dirty Life wheels definitely give it that off-road look, and you know, Falcon, these Wild Peaks are like my favorite all-terrain tire, and on 37s, like,
That's the biggest time.
Yeah, I think with the lift, it might be a lot. Yeah. But regardless, hey, it looks good. Since the car was pretty much coming along, what's funny is that one sponsor on this build actually reached out to us, and he said, "You're gonna need a hood." You know?
I saw your render.
And you know, it's funny. The guy was a local guy here in Oceanside, so I went to go visit him.
Yeah. Big shout out to Caesar from RK Sport, man. And it's not that far from the shop. Actually, here in Oceanside, RK Sport, the homie Caesar hit us up and said he had a hood for a Bronco. The crazy little story that we have with that is he was in Oceanside, he went to Texas, came back to Oceanside, and he told us, hey, I'm close by, you know, come down, we have the hood for you, we got you, you know, we want you to look good at SEMA. And then as he told me the address to go get the hood, it was crazy. It was literally at our old shop. So 12 years ago, we used to be in Oceanside Boulevard over there. And the address he gave me, I was like, it's really familiar. We get there, and it's our old shop. So it was meant to be. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was meant to be. And the hood looks really good. Has a scoop, a functional scoop for the cold air intake. It looks really good. I think it's going to look really great on the Bronco.
You know, the paint's still really good, right? So
10,000 miles.
Even though, yeah, the car, my mom's only put 5,000 miles a year on it. So it's her, you know, weekend cruiser. So, I mean, to us, even though we have a paint shop, it didn't really necessarily make sense to repaint the whole car. Yeah. Especially, you know, when we just really started this build almost 3 weeks ago. You know, it didn't really make sense to do a full color change. So naturally, we decided to go with a wrap, right? And with the theme that we really wanted to go with, we searched high and low to get a color that would fit our build. And the company that we found that color with was Tiny Bot. And Tiny Bot, I know they're out of LA, and you know, we reached out to them and we told them about the importance of the build, and you know, they said, hey, let's do it, let's work. So they sent us a couple rolls, and our boy Edgar from G-Spot is helping us out getting this thing wrapped. And literally all this is happening right now while we're talking right now. Next year, me and Saul plan to open another facility dedicated to PPF, wrap, paint correction, stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. You know, we've done wraps before and stuff like that, but naturally, because we're a paint shop, it's
a lot of dust. It needs to be an own dedication spot for that, and we already do some of that here, but it's just hard. So I feel like it's just going to be a separate division from, you know, what we offer here, just at a different facility. You know, we'll be able to keep everything nice and clean, wrap it, and just be another service we can offer to our customers. If they don't want to get their whole car painted or it needs it, just need a correction, maybe paint a couple bumpers, and just have that other option available for customers that don't want to do a full paint, you know, if it doesn't need it. So I think it was a great opportunity for us.
When we got my mom's car, you know, Broncos at the time were premium pricing, like ridiculous. Like, you can spec out Broncos for over 100 grand. When we were specking them out, you can pay a lot of more money for a leather, and I was like, well, why are we gonna pay money for leather when we're gonna customize it ourselves? So that was kind of the fun part, is that, you know, we wanted to do something real nice for my mom here, and we wanted to really pop. Yeah. So I don't know if this is like the most I don't know, regular looking. I don't know. This color is gonna pop. You guys are gonna see it here in a bit. But we ended up going with the Tiffany blue leather interior, which was pretty hard to find the right shade. Yeah. I think Saul was able to find it through Relicat.
Yeah, that was the only company that had anything remotely close, because obviously being such a wild color, you know, that's something that probably doesn't sell off the shelves, like black or tan or gray. So being like this, you know, Tiffany blue color, you know, it was something that I think it had that feminine touch, but still like a rugged look. And with working with Lacey, giving it that feminine touch, we talked to her about it. She thought it was going to be a good idea, and for us to like change it, do a custom design on it, like one off everything, stitching, everything, think she's gonna like it, and it's gonna kind of showcase our upholstery, because that's, to tell you the truth, that was like our bread and butter. That's what we started doing. And then from there, we started doing paint, other things like that. But that's just how we encompassed everything together. But we really want to showcase, like, you know, our interior, and I think what better way to showcase it there at the SEMA show, and for her to see it, you know, see what we did for her. A lot of things that you can play with, like the craftsmanship of changing the insert with the different design, that totally changes the look of the seat. You know, we can also add different stitching, so we're not your normal shop where we can just do, you know, just change the insert and leave it the way it is. Like, within that same aspect of being original, we can change the stitching, change the design in it, and that little craftsmanship just changes and elevates the look of the car. Because for me, like, you're inside the car while you're driving, so while you're inside the car, like, what better seat to be in is inside your car, where it's custom tailored to you. You're in there, you're driving it. For me and Oscar, it's like really important for the interior to be as nice as the exterior. So with that, I think like us doing a great job on that interior and just doing custom stitching and just something out of our normal, it's gonna really pop.
We also wanted to give her some nice space. Now, my mom is not, you know, gonna be bumping through the hood or anything like that, but we wanted something that could still fit within the same confines of what she already has. You know, we didn't want to put a huge subwoofer in the back and, you know, take away her space and stuff like that. So we hooked up with DS18, which was another company that we met through doing the TV show that we did. And you know, by actually using it firsthand, we're like, hey, this stuff is really good. Yeah. So we're like, hey, yeah, we would love to throw, you know, some DS18 in here, and they actually made a package for the Bronco, which I was like, hey, this is like meant to be, right?
It comes everything complete: sound bar, speakers, tweeters, wiring, amps, anything you need to get your Bronco sounding really good. Right now, obviously, you see this thing, it's in multiple pieces. We're still doing a lot, but the audio on this thing is not that great. I mean, it has speakers up here, some on the dash, but the door panels don't have anything, so this is a must if you need to upgrade your Bronco, get a lot better sound, a lot of quality, and DS18 definitely helped us out with this. So we're gonna start getting all the wiring done, get all the speakers where they need to go, and get this thing sounding good.
And also just kind of some of the other things, like we wanted to do a little bit of interior lighting and you know, change out the headlight rings and stuff like that. So Oracle went ahead and shipped us a package, and we went ahead and threw on some color changing headlight rings, and the Bronco that lights up, and, you know, some dash lighting and so on and so forth. You know, just to kind of give it that flair, right? And again, this is an actual car that's going to be driven. This is not one of those SEMA trucks that with the Bluetooth drive shaft, you know. This is actually going to be a driver, and you know, we hope to have a little bit more fun with it after SEMA. We did a little bit of performance mods. You know, we did a MagnaFlow exhaust on it, and we threw our first blow-off valve on there. But we definitely have some more plans of doing some more performance on this, because, you know, my mom needs to be, you know, pretty fast, you know, because now we have big wheels and tires. We need to be able to make them spin, you know. But
I mean, she's not gonna be racing, but she's gonna need a little bit more performance stuff in there. So we kind of got a blow off valve, but Mishimoto came through with we're gonna be doing an intercooler upgrade, intake, just a couple little things from their cooling system, catch can, just to make sure it's running good.
And we got a MagnaFlow exhaust for this thing, so it should be sounding pretty cool. You know, it's not only, you know, obviously it's getting a full kit, it's getting suspension, it's getting a wrap, it's getting a full interior, it's getting, you know, performance mods and exhaust and sound system. I mean, she's gonna be
driving this.
She's gonna be rolling, and it's new still, so it's like, you know,
it's gonna be like a new car when she sees it. So I think like that's gonna make her fall. That's how we are. We fall back in love with the car.
Yeah.
So I feel for her it's gonna be special because she's been driving it. Now with this new upgrade, it's like, oh my god, I got another. Like it's a new car again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I look forward to that. You know, seeing their reaction.
you know, a lot of people really helped out this build. So, you know, if you guys are the SOS fam, you know, reach out to them, support them. You know what I mean? Give them a follow. Let them know that you guys saw this and say, hey, I think that was really cool. You guys hooking up SOS Customs, so they can see that, you know, what we're doing here is being seen. You know, because that helps us out more than you know. So, you know, again, I want to just shout out, you know, a little roll call for everyone. Fusion Bumpers, Lacey, LB Motorsports, Rigid Industries, Dirty Life, Falcon, Mishimoto, MagnaFlow, DS18, Relicate, Oracle, and Warn Winches, and you know, that's pretty much it, guys. Let's go see what this thing is looking like. Tights off. A little bit. All right, go. Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
You're gonna see this Bronco. I really hope you enjoy it. I just want to give you a little message and tell you te quiero un chingo.
And really enjoying what we do for you. You know, I feel like, you know, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, and everything you do has made a big impact in my life and me and my brother's life. And I just want to tell you I love you very much from the bottom of my heart.
I just want you to know I love you with all my heart, and we wouldn't be here without you. And you know, I truly love you, man. Thank you for everything.
At the end of the day, I just, you know, I know you always tell us that you're proud of us, but it means so much coming from you, and for us to be able to do this for you means a lot. And te quiero mucho, and I love you, Mama. Okay? Te quiero mucho, no matter what. All right? I hope you love this. Let's go.